Well, it feels like I can't breathe, I can't swallow properly, and yeah, tears wouldn't stop, headaches every day after school, and stomach aches during school where I had to go to the nurse's office a few times.
Did you tell your mum about all those physical symptoms?
She would just try to reassure me that it was like, it's fine, it's okay. But I knew that she wasn't understanding how I was feeling.
I didn't know what was going on. I've never dealt with a child who'd had anxiety before. Tried to put myself in her position. I couldn't.
Until grade 4, Lisa loved everything about school, but then COVID hit.
I didn't have friends to talk to around me during home learning, so I didn't have that kind of social interaction with anyone, and I guess when I got back to school, kind of stayed that way.
So it was almost like you'd forgotten how to socialise or something?
Yeah, pretty much. I just wouldn't want to get out of bed in the morning. I'd try to fake sick or just tell mum and dad that I wasn't feeling well and I didn't feel like I could go.
It was chaotic. It was terrible. I'm going to end up crying, sorry. To the point where the tantrums got really out of control, slamming doors, screaming.
School refusal is when a child can't go to school regularly because they're too anxious.
So really children who have some pre-existing mental health problems, who really just find it overwhelming to get out of the house and off to school.
Students with ADHD and autism are twice as likely to experience school refusal.
In the morning, he'd wrap himself in a blanket on the couch. I can't get up, I can't go. And then you kind of try and rally himself up. No, I can do this, Mum, I can do it.
It's something I've just really, I think I finally have a courage to say is, when I would no, Mum, I can do this, because I don't want to disappoint people. That's why I say that, because I don't want to disappoint people.
11-year-old Leo's on the autism spectrum. He too struggled to return to the classroom after lockdown.
You have things like open classrooms, there's a whole lot of noise and sensory issues happening.
I've always thought it's all my fault and stuff, but I know it's not. Pushed on for so long because I've been wanting to, I want to do stuff with my friends.
But this is an important point, right? It's you want to be able to go to school, right?
It's I want to be able to go. It's but my body needs certainty.
It got to the point, it's life or death for him. I couldn't keep sending him. He was talking about wanting to die. If your kid's talking about wanting to die,
And being serious.
yeah, that's heartbreaking.
But it seems that while neurodiverse kids are overrepresented, they're the minority of school refusers. It's hard to get precise figures on how many students refuse to attend school, but the phenomenon is broad and growing, soaring from an estimated baseline of 5% of students once COVID delivered 2 years of disrupted learning. And now, families are crying out for help.
So when did you realise it was something more than playing up, as you put it?
When she broke down completely. My life's useless.
Yeah, right. That's a terrifying thing to hear.
Yeah, from an 11-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was the last straw. Yeah.
That's when they turned to John Chelu and his therapy dog, Max. John runs a clinic in Victoria specifically for kids who have trouble getting off to school each day.
I've noticed a shift or a doubling of the referrals really to my clinic during and then certainly after COVID. Since the schools have opened up again, we're expecting them to readjust and get back to life as it was, and that's just not easy for some kids, particularly more vulnerable children.
But this is also about more than just COVID, because student attendance rates have been dropping for the past decade. In fact, the issue is now so widespread, it's the subject of a Senate inquiry. It seems the growing trend of school refusal is just a symptom of a much bigger social problem, namely a marked increase in anxiety more generally. So what's causing that?
Well, the world we've created causes children, and not just children, a lot of anxiety. And kids see that at home with their parents, they see it on the news, and life has become more complex. Internet, social media, gaming is a factor. Kids are finding it easier to stay at home, less challenging, it's comfortable, it's safe.
You mentioned technology.
Yeah.
What connection is there between technology and school refusal?
Well, kids find it difficult to tune out, turn off, and often go to sleep at night. That means they're not getting the sleep they need, and then really having trouble being ready for school and ready to learn.
Experts agree the longer a child stays at home, the harder it is to get them back to school.
Because the anxieties build up, they feel more disconnected, their patterns of catastrophising what might happen when they get to school increases.
Which is why Matt Bark, who was a teacher for 10 years before becoming a politician, thinks schools are a big part of the solution.
We need to be clear as parents and also as school leaders that when you're experiencing anxiety, far more often than not, the best place for you is actually to be at school, but that shouldn't take away from the urgent work of getting more mental health support in schools.
In Leo's case, it didn't play out that way, despite the best efforts of his teachers.
I think it's more the school system that's the issue, the inflexibility. There's no options that I've been able to find that cater for autistic kids with higher than average IQs.
I think the vast majority should be able to go to a local mainstream school and have a great experience. That should be our aim. That should be our aim.
Including kids with autism and ADHD?
Yes, but not all, Waleed. Not all.
Leo is in grade 6, but he hasn't stepped inside a classroom since the start of last term. Amy says it's done him the world of good.
Having that time off school has meant that he's come back to life, you know, like his light's shining again, you know, he can have fun.
Hey, you! You're not allowed to be here.
So, what's your long-term plan then? Do you want Leo to get back to school?
At this point, I'm thinking not this year, and for next year or years after, only if we can find the right environment for him.
But the good news is that in more typical cases, the right help and the right plan can deliver great results.
But I involve the parents and the child together, and then separately we then set some goals, and from those goals come strategies, and then I'll tailor-make a return to school program, which often means skill building, confidence building, approaching the school, but it will be a graduated return for most children. Very few go back full-time straight away.
Lisa's doing a whole lot better since attending John's clinic. She's back at school and thriving.
I guess I needed someone else that I'd never known before to talk to.
So, how's school going now?
I love it.
That's great.
Yeah.
What do you love about it?
Well, I mean, I started high school and I love that I've always got something to do during break times. And I found that making new friends this year has been really easy because they're obviously still feeling nervous as well.
There'll be parents watching this maybe going through something similar to what you went through. What's the best piece of advice you could give them?
Don't react, respond. Listen to what they have to say. Don't say it'll be okay. They don't want to hear that.
I just really want to get a message out there to everyone around, like the world. Just do your best and try and help people around you. Just don't judge people. Maybe just say, hey, don't worry, we've all faced struggles. That can really help people.
It's a good message.
Oh, little Leo. I'm not surprised. I mean, it's been hard to get adults back into the office after COVID as well. And I wonder if that has the anxiety of having to go back into the office and socialise again plays into it.
There's nothing worse than watching a child, and that's what you were talking about with the parents, saying to their parents, I don't want to live anymore. I don't know as a parent how you deal with that.
It's horrific.
And that little girl saying at the end there where she needed someone who she didn't know to talk to and unload on, I thought was a very important message.
And she needed the therapy dog, Max. Can I say, I met Max. I felt better straight away. I mean, Max, really, it's incredible what he does. But the idea of this being actually a symptom of a broader problem, that problem being anxiety, I just don't think we think anywhere near enough about that. I think we just brush so much stuff under the carpet. We mentioned the technology stuff. It's not only technology, a bunch of other things as well. But we're just so easy to go, oh, well, that's a problem and we'll figure that out some other way. We'll regulate or something like that. We're facing a genuine crisis. And this is, it seems to me, one problem.
Well, it's an alarm bell going.
It's
an alarm bell going off that means that we've got to have
a
bigger conversation.
We're getting a very big warning, I think, with stuff like this. If you find yourself or a member of your family in need of help for any reason, crisis support, of course, is available 24/7 on Lifeline. So that number 13 11 14.